Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor. It's Saturday morning and it's time for another live stream. So let's get right into it and start off like we always do with our crypto market overview. So we are in the midst of a nice sell-off at the current moment in time in the cryptocurrency world. Looking at the Crypto Bubble's top 100, we are in a sea of red currently. Some coins are bouncing after selling off. I don't want to waste too much time here before we get into the charts, but we can see that Bitcoin is trading at 113K, right? That 120K price point, it seems very far away now, but it's really not that far. Anyways, we're going to show you the chart in just a moment, but anyways, Bitcoin 113K, Ethereum below 3,500 at the current moment in time. XRP has lost $3. Solana at 163. This is demand for Solana. I'll show you on the chart. Dogecoin as well, 19.7 cents. Tau as well at like $330. If you're bullish right now, let's just get into the charts because we need to talk about things. All right. First things first. USDT dominance. So we have come into the one-day bearish breaker block here at 4.54%. This has been hit. All right, we hit this one yesterday, and it looks like we are taking another attempt at it. Now, with the velocity that this market has moved, and with how quickly these levels came, I do want to say that I don't think this is going to be it. I don't think that this level here on USDT dominance is going to be the high. Right? I think there's a good chance we do see it push higher. With that being said, checking the chart, we have a huge 9-day level coming in at 4.6%. Okay. So anyways, USDT dominance right now is in the key level. Let's make that very loud and clear. USDT dominance is in a key level. It has another level of hidden liquidity just above at 4.6%. However, there's really not a lot of confluence with other majors right now. But just to start things off, USDT dominance is at a level where we should be looking for long trades, okay? However, again, not a lot of confluence with the other majors. Bitcoin dominance heading up. Not good at all for altcoins, okay? So, like I said, not really a lot of confluence. This isn't really in a level, and it continues to push higher, which isn't great for alts. Now, ETH BTC still not really doing too bad, holding its range. Let's just get right into Bitcoin and Ethereum and then altcoins. Again, I don't want to waste too much time here on this stream. I want to give you guys the critical things that you need to know right now, basically. So Bitcoin has fully filled the daily fair value gap. You can see here, we're on the 12-hour chart, looking on the daily time frame chart. So we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row now. I'm going to get rid of this range. But we have had 6 sell-off red days in a row. And yesterday we finally broke through that support at 115K, and we've come into the daily fair value gap. Now, obviously this is an important level. Why? Well, we have the previous all-time high just below at $112,000. We're currently at 113K. This is a stone's throw away. We might hit it within the next few minutes while I'm live. All right. So 112, a very, very important level for Bitcoin. All right. It shouldn't be understated. Also, I think a very important level that shouldn't be overlooked. And in my opinion, this is like the do or die level. It's the quarterly open price. And this is $107,000. When I mean do or die, I mean do or die. Like if Bitcoin comes down here and loses 107, I would confidently say that the whole bull market is over. Okay, we're not there. All right, we're not there just yet. We're still above the previous all-time high, so we don't have to have that conversation yet. But as it does appear, again, USDT dominance is in. It's in a level. Okay, Bitcoin is at a logical place that we should be looking for a, let's reset this. It's at a logical place right now, right? This is something we've been waiting for. A test of 112K, the previous highs. We should see some type of bullish reaction from this point. we should see some type of bounce from 112K. And as I go through the altcoins right now, I'm going to show you how many of these altcoins are at very crucial demand levels. And again, they should produce some type of bounce. That doesn't mean they're going to hold, right? It means on a second or third attempt, they could potentially break through and we can see lower. But altcoins, Bitcoin, everything is at a point right now where we should see some type of relief bounce, or things are even worse than we even think they are, okay? So anyways, moving along now, we have Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum is also losing some levels, okay? Made a fresh low yesterday below 3,500. Now, this level at $3,300 to $3,250 on Ethereum is one we have been long waiting for, all right? This daily time frame breaker block, right? We've talked about this at length. Now, this is a very attractive level for ETH over here at 3,250. We'll see when it gets there, okay? I think it makes sense, again, to look to long this level at 3,250, 3,300. I do understand that everyone is looking to long this level, but that's fine, okay? It is a level of interest. We'll see if we get there today. And if we do, again, it's a logical place to look to take a long trade. However, again, you need to manage the risk properly and manage the trade, because let's say we do come down here to $3,250, $3,300, and we get some type of a bounce, right? I would say aggressively move the stop up, because, again, as I'm going to show you with many of these altcoins, if they come and test this level one or two more times, we probably see a breakdown. All right. So for ETH, yes, $3,250, $3,300, just below the current market price, is an attractive level, right? This is only 5%, 4.5% away from the current market price. Now, if that is lost, where would it go? 2,900, $2,900 down here to retest this previous resistance level of this long range that Ethereum has spent a lot of time in this year. Well, anyways, as of right now, we'll talk about 2,900 later. As of right now for Ethereum, 3,300 to 3,250 is where we want to see some type of bullish reaction. It is lagging behind a bit. We can see Bitcoin and altcoins are moving further along, lower. Ethereum is holding up stronger than many alts, right? We can even just look at ETH.D, which is the Ethereum dominance. And looking at ETH.D, right, like, you know, Ethereum is holding its dominance that it gained over the last few weeks. Let's go to the weekly time frame. And the market cap of Ethereum from April, it went from 7% up here to 11.5%. Okay, a 60% increase, and it's holding a lot of this ground. All right, so that's a big reason of why we're seeing Ethereum actually hold up a lot better than a lot of these other coins on the market. And I think we do see that persist. I think we see Ethereum continue to just do a lot better than other altcoins, because we can look at the others' dominance chart, and this is at 7.3%. This is still in a multi-year downtrend. Okay, so lower cap altcoins are going to be a worse hold than Ethereum until this reverses its downtrend. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you're looking to buy a bunch of shit coins, you might be better off just going into Ethereum for now. Okay, because Ethereum outperformed the majority of coins on the run up from April. Okay, it did significantly better than many coins in the top 100. Obviously, some did better, but you get what I'm saying. Ethereum is holding up stronger. We'll see when we get that $3,300 level. But I think we can see a sub $3,000 here, given the velocity of this sell-off. Let's keep on moving along here. So Solana, like I was saying, guys, these coins are at very, very important levels of support. All right, we can see here for Solana, it's directly on the daily 200 EMA. That's at $162. And it's also in demand here that formed. Okay, this is a demand zone. So right here, $162 for Solana. it should produce some type of bounce. All right. Big move right into this level, right into the daily 200 EMA. I think it provides some type of relief from here. All right. Maybe it goes and hits the quarterly at 154, but you know, this is a level of demand, a level of support. The question is, will this bounce be a full reversal? I highly doubt it. Okay, more likely than not, like I was just discussing, if we do get a bounce and you see it come back here and test this support at 160 a second or a third time, it very likely breaks through. It very likely breaks through and goes lower. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Right? You can try and trade these levels. I think they do provide you with some type of bullish move, but just be careful of price coming in retesting demand again. Okay, and it potentially breaking through and going lower. Now with that, if we just look at Solana here, and even just recently, the levels that it's been holding is like 150 to 140. Right? You can see that there are buyers here. There are buyers at around $140 to push price up. It's happened multiple times over here in the past as well, right? This like 140 level, we see price, you know, come into it and we see good reactions from it. It can go lower, it can break down through. So the point I'm making with showing you this 140 level is it's provided a lot of, you know, good bullish setups in the past. However, I don't believe it to be like a wholesale price. Because remember, when we're trading supply and demand, we want to be buyers in demand. And what is demand? Demand is wholesale prices, okay? And what is supply? It's retail prices, right? We want to sell at retail prices in supply and buy at wholesale prices at demand. Let's zoom out the chart here and go to the weekly time frame. So again, the 140 level, which is here. Let's clean this up slightly. Too much on the chart. So we have the 140 level over here. Now, I can confidently say that over here, let's say wholesale. Over here at 140, right? These prices, this is not wholesale, okay? The real value for Solana is down here at like $100. Okay, this is actually wholesale currently for Solana. So we had a test of that in April. And then on the June sell-off, you guys remember what happened over in June with the bombing of Iran, right, causing this sell-off. We came and we hit like 130 and then we pumped up to 200. We avoided the wholesale price again in the June sell-off. Okay? And on the contrary, up here, this is retail prices. Right? When Solana is above $260, it gets sold off aggressively hard, right? This is where retail buys and smart money sells up here. So we're basically in the middle of this range. Many coins can be classified in the same exact manner. We're in the middle of this range right now. So the issue that I see basically, and you can see it as an issue, you can see it as opportunity, whatever your perspective allows, you can see it as. But the issue we have now is if we lose 160, which is where we are at right now on Solana, we probably are going to see the range lower wholesale prices, which means Solana's coming back down to $100. Okay? And this goes with every coin basically. I'll show you Tau in a moment. It's kind of a similar outlook. But you know, this is a gigantic range, and I think if we lose this support, we will come to the range low. So with that being said, we should see some type of bullish reaction. We're right on the 1-day 200 EMA. We're also in a fresh demand zone, okay, on its first test. In the past, we have seen buyers exceed sellers here and push price higher. So we should see buyers step in again and push price up. Again, the issue or the worry is if we push up here and we test it a second or a third time, I can see it breaking through and it can get pretty ugly and we can go to wholesale prices. Don't shoot the messenger. It's a very large possibility. It looks like USDT is pushing up right now because, you know, Solana and everything is going down. So again, for everyone just joining into our live stream right now, welcome. Smash up the like button. This is Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market on a Saturday morning. This is way better than your Saturday morning cartoons. So if you guys appreciate this awesome content, smash up the like button. But for anyone just joining in right now, USDT dominance is at the 1 day bearish breaker block, right, from over here on the 10th of June. We hit that actually yesterday on yesterday's daily candle. However, price is continuing to push up. Just above, we have the 9-day bearish breaker block, which is coming in at 4.6%. All right. So this is definitely a level where we can look to take longs, even at the current level. But I think that waiting for the 9-day does make more sense at this point. However, I'm showing you how many of these charts are at levels where we should see some type of bullish reaction. So that's a little update for anyone just joining in. We just went over Solana, right? We went over Sol here. Again, if we lose this, it is bad news for the bulls. There's a very large % chance we'll see the range low at $100 if we lose this current level, in my opinion. Could take a few weeks to get there as well. Let's move on now to Dogecoin. So let's get this off of the screen and let's just concentrate on the chart, okay? So for Dogecoin, kind of a similar situation, right? Exactly what we just looked at on Solana. Well, we've already lost the daily 200 EMA here, right? That's at 20.7 cents. We lost that on yesterday's candle. We closed below it. And, you know, we're coming into like 19 to 18.5 cents, which provided a great setup. We actually, you know, we traded this one over here in the middle of July at this level over here at like 19 cents. Doge is coming back into it now, okay? So the same situation as Sol, right? This is a bit of a fresh demand zone here that price is in. This already lost the level, right? This already lost the daily 200 EMA. This looks pretty weak, to say the least. And again, price was not able to break above the red box. Remember how we discussed, if price is going to go higher, it's got to get above our red box. Look how it wicked into it twice, leading to this sell-off, okay? So that's, you know, that's just using a resistance, right? That provided a nice short setup. But here we are now at 19.5 cents in demand. We've already lost the daily 200 EMA. Look, this has to bounce here. This has to bounce here, or it's cooked. For lack of a better term, it's cooked. All right, Doge is having a little bit of an episode. The entire altcoin market is having a little bit of an episode. Again, for lack of a better term, they're having a little bit of an episode right now. So anyways, back to Doge. Yeah, I mean, look, bounce here or it's completely cooked in my opinion. Just taking a zoom out on the weekly time frame. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. There's too much noise for my liking. So yeah, for Doge, the weekly gives us a little bit of a different perspective, right? And the weekly, it just shows you another range, right? Same. We're going to label this okay, so where's wholesale prices for Dogecoin? Is it here at the current market price at 19 cents? No, definitely not. Let's just look at the chart. Okay, this is definitely not wholesale here at 19.20 cents for Doge. is it over here at like 17, 16 cents in here? I think a lot of people will say, yeah, that's demand, that's wholesale. No, it's not, okay? Actual wholesale prices, actual demand for Doge is at the April lows, okay? This is 12.5 to like 11, 10 cents. So again, the same thing we just looked at for Sol. Like Doge just continues to go lower here. If we go to the 1 minute chart, it's just selling off like I don't even know what. But yeah, so I'm gonna make it pretty clear, guys. If we lose this level, we're going to the range low. Like we could see a retest of the April lows if lost. Okay. So the bulls better step up quick right now, man. Like this is a logical level to see some type of relief bounce. We'll see what we get here. But again, we're in a range on the higher time frame, and not being able to hold this level on Dogecoin is a huge warning sign, basically, to brace for the range low. So I really hope it holds here, but I don't think it will. Right? You guys remember my ETH trade? You remember my ETH trade? Long from over here in July, and I said I really don't think it's going to work. It ended up being a sick trade. Okay? Here we are in Doge. I want this to hold. I don't think it will. Okay, so I think the move is actually yeah. Look for a bounce. Look for several tests at this level. If it breaks down, get ready to buy wholesale prices at like 12 cents for Dogecoin. Another example is going to be Tau. All right, look at Tau right now. It's seriously pretty weak. Now, I have my eyes on 325. Okay. I plan to long 325. But the thing is, I'm not too confident we see a full-blown market reversal in this pump to all-time highs. Okay. If we do, that would be awesome. But, you know, pretty steep sell-off right now. We've lost our trend line breakout, right? We retested it and we fell right through. So we're coming into a one-day level at $325 with USDT dominance in a key level, right? Again, it makes sense that we see a bullish relief bounce from here. Will it lead to a full-blown market reversal? I'm not so sure about that. Okay. So, you know, for example, let's just put this in layman's terms, just so it's super easy to understand. Let's say you were buying Tau up here at like $400, right? You were looking at the chart here and you were waiting for price to come down to support at 400, and you were buying. You're like, this is going to a new all-time high for Tau, right? You're buying at 400. Price now sells off. This is a hypothetical example, of course, but price sells off now. We're at $334. All right. So what I'm saying is, bulls need this to hold. Like, they need this level. I hold Tau spot, so I don't. Of course, I would like it to hold. I don't need it to, but I would certainly like it to. But anyways, bulls need this level to hold at like 330, 325. If you were a buyer at 400, okay, you should be salivating or licking your chops here at 330, right? Because again, you're convinced it's going to a new all-time high. The issue is, if we lose this level here, Okay, let's say we get a relief bounce, but then we come and test it 320, 330 again, maybe a little bit of a relief bounce, but then like on the third test we lose it. We can see a move to the range low. Where's the range low? Right, the perps chart doesn't show you this. So you have to go to the spot chart on MEXC. Now, where's the range low? I think it's pretty clear that we know that this is retail prices or supply up here. Right? Every time Tau makes it up to $700, $800, it gets aggressively sold off. Now, where is wholesale or demand? Is it here at 300? All right, is it over here at 300 bucks? No, definitely not. Is it down here at around 160 to 170? Yes. Yes, this is wholesale for Tau. Okay, so what I'm basically saying is if we lose 330 where we're at, 325, there is a very good chance we see a move to the range low. Again, like this picture is actually extremely clear. We were unable to break resistance here in the middle of the range. This is a very obvious clear range on the weekly time frame on Tau, right? Price was unable to break the mid-range, break resistance here at 500 bucks. Second attempt at 450, rejected again. So essentially, if we can't reverse here and break the mid-range and go to the range high, we're going to the range low. Don't shoot the messenger. Oh, Connor's so bearish. Look, I mean, can you not see this obvious range with the high and the low here and us unable to go above the middle? So logically, if we're unable to go above the middle, where are we going? The range low. Hope you guys can understand what I'm saying right now, because to me, it's clear as day. Given the sell-off right now, where we're at on things. Again, I'm expecting 325 to offer some type of bullish relief bounce, but if it comes back for a second or third test, we probably see it sliced through and a move to the range low. Very similar. We already looked at Solana, but like, again, if price is unable to break above this resistance in the middle of the range, it's probably going to come back down to the bottom of the range. Also worth mentioning that we have stonks pulling back here. Weekly time frame, S&P 500 not really looking great. So the first kind of big red week in a while. And same thing on the US 100. So, I mean, look, stonks, we need stonks to stay strong for crypto to be risk on. And we're seeing the first sign of weakness in quite a while for the stonk market. So, yeah, multiple factors right now. And yes, I could show you the news with Trump adding tariffs, a lot of trade war talk between Canada and the US. A lot of people will say that's the reason this sell-off is happening. But on the contrary, there's traders out there like myself who will say it was already in the charts, and then the news just essentially is what the scapegoat is, right? That everyone can blame this sell-off on. So another look at Bitcoin here for anyone just joining in. Again, we have 112, which is the previous all-time high, and we have 107, which is the quarterly open, as our main two levels of support to hold. $107,000, again, which is the quarterly open, is the must-hold line in the sand. If we lose 107K, I will say that it's all over down here, okay? But we're not there just yet. We still have the chance to see 112 provide us with some type of relief bounce here. And again, every time Bitcoin has broken a previous high on this rally up, it's held the previous top, right? So we should see 112 hold. We're going to find out real soon because we're at $112,860. We are about to see the test of the level, basically. So Magic actually is pumped up quite aggressively after sweeping the 2-day level. Key level sweep here. 40% move in 2 days' time. Pretty crazy move there. So this thing likes to move when the entire market goes in the opposite direction, I should say. But anyways, so we went over the majors, we went over some altcoins, and you guys know how crypto is extremely highly correlated. So every altcoin is really in a similar boat to what I showed you on Doge or Tau or Solana. They're all kind of in similar boats, right? Coins like Atom are basically back at, like, not quite at the June lows, but, you know, back to $4, right? Probably going to come down to the range low, below 350. Pump Fun is just in this consolidation in the bottom. Zora down 20%. So some type of relief was provided. This is actually a good example to show you. So what I'm showing you on like Tau and things like that, right? For Zora, price came into the fair value gap. You see how it provided a bounce, but it just tested the trend line breakdown, leading to further downside. So what we don't want to see right now for coins like Tau and Solana and Dogecoin and every other altcoin is, you know, we're in demand. We don't want to see a little baby bounce and then another rejection and leg lower. Because if we get this, we're going to the range lows, which are significantly lower. So that's what I mean by like a second or third attempt. This was the second attempt, and you see it just went right through it. But yeah, that's kind of a general overview on things. We have our level on Ethereum just below at 3,300. Now, we're in good hands, guys. We have people looking out for us, people in high places, right? Our great friend, you know, awesome guy, Eric Trump. Shout out to Eric Trump. He says, let me say it again. Buy the dips, Bitcoin ETH. Now, don't forget, Eric, such a friendly guy. On the 25th of February, you know, he told us as well to buy the dips, right? And you guys all remember what happened on the 25th of February. If you don't, I'm going to remind you right now. Let's see. So here's the 25th of February. This candle, this little candle here on the 25th. So price sold off on the 24th. Here we are on the 25th. You know, shout out to Eric Trump. Such a good guy. Told us to buy that dip here on the 25th. Price proceeded to go down 45%. But you have to thank Eric because actually from the 25th of February to the rally high, it went up 57%. And don't forget, at the exact top, Eric said, you're welcome, you know. I'll show you that real quick. You remember this one? ETH is now up 36% since Eric Trump told everyone to add it. And he gave everyone the fist pump emojis. Right here it is time-stamped. Remember on the 25th, or on the 3rd of February, he actually told everyone to buy it. But anyways, we have Eric again, our savior and guardian angel, who's always right on the market, telling us to buy these dips. So maybe we should just listen to him and buy. What do you guys think? Let's put up a poll. I would love to know what you guys think. Go ahead and answer the live poll right now in our live chat. And let's see what you guys think. Shout out to Eric with the awesome alpha. Moving along now, right? I mean, this is basically what we should be doing on a day like this, right? We could look at the computer screen all day long, but I mean, you know, it's probably a good idea. It's a Saturday. Go out and enjoy the day, right? Shout out to Apu. But yeah, I mean, look, here we are. I'm sitting in front of a computer screen. I got a camera. I got lights. I got 5 screens in front of me. It is what it is. Anyways, Aerodrome Finance is going to be integrated into Base very soon. All right. They're basically going to integrate Aerodrome and other DEXs into the Base application within a few weeks. So that's exciting. Within a few weeks. So with this sell-off, guys, in terms of what the timing of everything and the horizon of things, if we don't turn around quick, right? If we lose these levels, for example, like we went over Tau, we went over Solana, we went over Bitcoin and ETH, we could see the first half to 3 weeks of August just be a complete washout, right? Where prices move down to their range lows, and then we have the low in late August. So, yeah, I mean, this might take a little while. It's August 2nd right now, right? It's August 2nd. So, like, for the next 2 weeks, like, we could just be in a choppy bearish formation with price moving towards this range low. But when the range low comes, obviously, you know, that is a huge buy, and we look to ride that up. But as of right now, it's looking pretty bearish, unless we can change it very, very quickly with a reversal from right here. Like, Bitcoin's at 112, okay? ETH is almost at 3,400. Didn't quite hit the key level, but USDT dominance is at the 1 day. Like, unless this turns around soon, the next 2-3 weeks in August are going to be a washout. And then we can get ready for more bullish price action at the end of summer. So that's it. Somebody says Cubic is not falling so much. That's right, guys. So if you're like me and you held on to Cubic for years, well, we're finally, we're finally happy that we did, basically. It's like everyone holding Bitcoin, right? Thinking, oh, I need to be in alts. But then after this cycle, you're just like, I'm so glad I was holding Bitcoin, right? Now with Cubic, we're like, yeah, I'm glad I'm holding Cubic, right? Because it's really not dipping too much at all. I mean, the price action is pretty strong, right? After it broke this range, pumped. I mean, we really haven't seen any significant pullback or sell-off. I will say, in terms of this chart, if this is going to keep bullish momentum, we should not see price trade below the previous week low down here. All right, I was looking at this. Like, if we come back down here and we're trading below 1,800 per billion, that's really bad. Probably look to get out. All right, we want to hold this level at all costs, 1,800 per billion, the previous week low over here, to retain this bullish momentum and continue this ride up higher. So over the month of August, right, if we're going to have the first half of August be a complete washout, and we see Cubic chopping whatever up here and it comes, look to buy this if you want to position in Cubic, okay? Because this is the must-hold level for bullish momentum to ride and continue higher. But yeah, Cubic, it's finally not underperforming. That's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Everything else, on the other hand, is a bit of a washout currently. So I had this alert on Ordi at 850. It hit last night, and price is still at the level. So again, right, a lot of coins are at levels I've had marked for a bit. You can see the 1 day, this is 2 times hit in here. It hit, provided a bit of a bounce, but it's it looks like it doesn't want to hold. Oftentimes when you don't think it's going to work, it probably will work. But again, if it comes back for a second or third time, it probably goes down to the range low, which is like $5, right? On something like Ordi. Every coin is at a level of interest. It's at a level of support, demand, bullish breaker block. The market's very, very much so aligned. And they're all at big levels where we should see a bullish reaction. We're not seeing the bullish reaction yet, but we're literally right at the price point where we should see something. FBS, can swarms pump in September? Absolutely. Right, again, price is at a level where we should see a bullish reaction. Saw a bit of a bounce, but rejection yesterday. You know, if it loses this, it's going to come down to the range low. Maybe even make fresh lows. So after I took the stop out earlier, I haven't tried to get in again. I haven't tried to retrade it. And I'm just simply observing. But yeah, I would say when the market turns around, we can certainly see some type of, because look on the weekly, right? Look on the weekly here. It's definitely setting up for something given this weekly chart. It's just a matter of when. So at this point, yeah, I'd say it's going to be later August, unless we have a reversal very soon and we start reclaiming some of these lost support levels. It overall is not looking great. All right, here's XRP. A bit cooked at the moment. So I'm just going to leave my box. You guys remember the orange box on XRP? All right. Should remember it if you watch the channel. But yeah, that orange box in the low $2 provided a great move. But it looks like we may see price come back to our orange box. 75% from there, taking the elevator back down. So just observe, look to the left on the chart, right? We're at previous levels. I don't know why I put these up, but let's get rid of them. Right, XRP, let's just put a box here. You know, this is just look to the left. Pretty important support resistance flip. We're in it, okay? So if we lose this, well, we're probably coming back down to the daily 200 EMA, which is at $2.30. So again, we got to see where are the bulls at, man? Are they going to step up here or what? Are we going to see some type of bullish reaction from these supports or not? We should. We should. We definitely should. We'll see if we get it, though. Let's see. Dan Griffith says, there is no way we're entering a bear anytime soon. So wait for the lows near April 7th, sell off and hold. I would say that I agree on the April 7th lows part, but in terms of a bear, we're in a kangaroo market. So you know, a kangaroo market can look at what happens. Look at what happened this year for altcoins in this kangaroo market we went in. Right, altcoins downtrended for a period of 84 days. They went down, many of them went down like 80, 90% over a pretty long period of time. So altcoins bear market, they've been in a bear market in all 2025 except from the April lows. So in a kangaroo market, they can go back down pretty low again. But yeah. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here for the poll. It looks like 56% of you guys, 55% say that you should listen to Eric Trump right now and buy this dip. So I'm not sure if you guys are just going along with my sarcasm and also being sarcastic with your answer to the poll, or if you're being serious. If I had to guess, I'm going to say that you're going along with my sarcasm. But you never know. It's really hard to say. So I'm not talking face to face, so I can't really sense the sarcasm. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad spot, I would say. But 107 probably going to be the bottom over here. And for ETH, if I had to guess, magic crystal ball it, it's going to be 2,900. But we should see some relief from these levels. Shout out to Joey Joe. All right, appreciate all you guys being here in the chat. Always good seeing a lot of familiar faces. Let's see. So someone said, yeah, AI agent coins are cooked or getting destroyed, and they are. They are. Here's AI16Z. Let's actually look at it on this chart. And yes, it's AI16Z. I'm literally trolling when I say Z. I definitely am not from the UK or Australia where they say that. We say Z around my parts. But anyways, look at this chart. This thing's cooked. Yeah, I mean, it's back to its April lows. So it's probably going to breach these lows and go a bit lower. Looks a bit cooked. Super chat from Grotto EZ. Shout out to Grotto. He says, Connor, glad to see you back, bro. We needed you. We need a bat signal for you. You guys are fun. You guys are awesome, man. I appreciate the support. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Grotto EZ. Yeah, man. I appreciate that comment. Feels good to be back here on the stream, not gonna lie, after what was it, like 2 days or something of no streams. So hopefully you guys didn't panic, but yeah, we're back. Thank you, Grotto Easy, for that awesome super chat, man. Appreciate the support. Let's see, we got green chili pepper. We should buy the dip. Love me some nice green chili salsa with tortilla chips. Yes, sir. Dan says 0.1 back to 0.3 for AI16Z. So what, you're saying 100 million market cap and then bounce? Let's take a look at the price chart here. So, I mean, yeah, there's really, after 10 cents, like, there's nothing. There's nothing but less than a penny, where all the insiders bundled it back in October of 2024. October, November. Right, this is where all the insiders bundled up. And it looks like if we lose 10, it's going to come back down to where they bundled it. but we haven't lost 10 yet. So maybe Dan's correct. I would say, yeah, if you look for price to come to the lows, and if it SFPs, if it gives you reasons to be long, and also if like tether dominance is up here in the 9-day, again, we have a 9-day level at 4.6%. You know, you can look to try along. But in general, this chart's pretty cooked, and I probably would look to trade something else that's not as cooked. Because that shit is cooked, dog. Stick a fork in it. It is done. For now, at least. Emery. Certain time or day of day or week. I stream when I please, man. I got no boss, but yeah, I mean, just subscribe to the channel and turn on all bell notifications so that you don't miss any videos or live streams. We have a request from Grotto EZ. Someone says I want, but this isn't a job. It's definitely not a job. And it has its perks for sure, but it also requires a lot of sacrifice and hard work. So the grass isn't always greener. And also, if you want it, you got to make it for yourself, man. Nobody's gonna give you an opportunity. You have to. I created this out of thin air, man. You have to understand that. So, anyways, to the chart here on ENA. So, big pump up with the stablecoin. The stablecoin narrative and stablecoins going parabolic. ENA a large beneficiary of that. Now we have price sweeping the previous week high on Monday, and we're breaking the Monday range. So ENA has held up significantly better than many of these other coins because it has a stronger demand, right? Now price is, let's put the fresh demand zone on this chart. Right? So this is, first of all, the previous resistance of this accumulation range that price spent a lot of time in. That's at 46 cents. And we also had a fresh level of demand form upon that breakout. So for ENA, this is the level that has to hold, or this entire pump is going to unravel. So ENA, it's just shy of the level. That's 51 cents down to around 46 cents. Current price is 54 cents. And doesn't really look like we have much fib confluence with anything. Yeah, you had the 50% in 382. So yeah, 51 cents down to 46. It's a must-hold demand zone, or this thing's going to completely unravel. But yeah, I mean, I could certainly see some type of bullish reaction from this 50-cent level. If not, look out below. But it hasn't broken it. It hasn't even come into the level yet. So still fresh. I would look there. And then Aave. So not quite at the June lows, but it's getting there, right? It's kind of a similar situation to like Tau and Solana even, where we have, just for simplicity's sake, we can call this kind of a gigantic range. And price was unable to move higher in the range, and it's kind of at the mid-range now, right? So, you know, if we don't turn around from around these prices, very good chance we come to the range lows. You just saw on the weekly, that's weekly demand we're in. Go back to that. So taking it from this wick, right? This is weekly demand. Spelled that wrong. Let me fix that. Okay, so we're in weekly demand here in the middle of the range. Again, the daily 200 EMA is just here in this demand. So we should see some type of bullish reaction from here. If we end up losing these levels, watch for the range lows, the April lows, which is like 120 bucks on Aave. Had a good run. It went 3x from those lows, but you know, here we are testing critical support. Let's see. We have Enrism with a 777 super chat. Guys, smash up the like button. He says, "Hi Connor, I hold a very large bag of AWR. All will retire, and I really believe in the project. Can you give your thoughts from the chart?" Well, we can certainly do that, man. Thank you for the super chat. All will retire. So if I had to guess, I said it was a gamble the last time I looked at it. Looking at it here, it looks like over the month of July, it's seen a pretty decent performance. Now look, man, I don't know what your entry was on this coin. If it was down here at like 0.002, you at least have to take initial out, in my opinion, especially given current market conditions. By the way, not financial advice. You should make your own decision. Okay, because if I say sell here and then it goes up here, you're going to hate me. So do what you want to do, all right? Don't let me influence your decision. But if you did buy it multiples lower and you're currently up like 400, 500%, I would strongly consider taking out your initial investment at the very minimum, and maybe paying yourself a small amount as well. Now, this chart, not really too much to say. Let's call it a range, because that's what it is, right? You know, we have our range high, we have our range low down here, and price is trying to break the range high. So if it fails to break the range high, logically, it would come down to the range low. All right, so that's your bearish case. Your bullish case is it breaks the range high, and then it goes on a nice pump, and you make a lot of money. All right, so the weekly candle is going to close tomorrow, and you want to see it ideally close above the range at like 10 cents or 1 penny. Because if it fails to close above the range high, logically it will come to at least the mid range, which is like 50% lower, but the range low all the way down here. Did my screen freeze? Did my screen freeze? Hopefully not. We have a ton of drop off. Yeah, it looks like my stream's lagging like crazy. Okay, guys, so we're having internet problems. It looks like we're having some serious internet problems. So I'm gonna wrap it up right now. I appreciate you all being here, and I'll be live again. So sorry about that, the internet issues. Smash the like button.